We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Thursday, May 15th here in Seoul. I'm Songjin, and welcome to News Generation. Joining us today is Im Sang-hyuk.
Happy Thursday, everyone.
Happy Thursday, and Julian Kim.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for joining us. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So as usual, we're going to begin our show with our keyword news. Our keyword for this Thursday is nickname. Now, Starbucks Korea has announced a temporary policy restricting the use of presidential candidates' names as nicknames on its mobile app. This decision affects the company's Call My Name service, where baristas call out customers' orders using their chosen nickname. So names like Lee Jae-myung, Kim Moon-soo, and Lee Jun-seok can no longer be used as nicknames until the presidential election ends. And this is part of Starbucks' effort to avoid political controversy and prevent conflict in stores. So I'd like to ask our panelists, starting with you, Julian, what's your take on this new decision by Starbucks?
Yeah, so I can definitely see why they would establish a policy like this. Politics can now be a very sensitive topic, and I can see how it's very frustrating for everyone involved, especially if people chose these names as a prank. However, I'm not personally sure how much of an impact this will make or what it would exactly resolve, especially if there is someone whose names are actually Lee Jae-myung, Lee Moon-soo, Lee Jun-seok.
Right, and especially for people like me, I use my real name for my Starbucks' nickname. So if my name was identical to that of the presidential candidates, this could be quite of a headache. So what are your thoughts on this decision, Sang-hyuk?
Yeah, so I also feel bad for those people whose names are Lee Jae-myung or Kim Moon-soo. Whatsoever, I understand Starbucks' decision, since there will be some people who will change their nicknames the same as presidential candidates for pranks purpose. And this could go against South Korea's Election Act. The election campaign by all presidential candidates must comply with the methods designated by the National Election Commission, or otherwise they could be punished. So for example, when candidates post banners, ads on online websites, there must be a quote notifying that this banner is for advertisement purpose. Also, ads through movie theaters or media platforms other than what has been designated or stipulated in the Election Act are banned as well. And also using AI or deepfake is also prohibited. So in light of that, I think Starbucks is taking careful approaches and making such a policy to that.
Right, and for your information, South Korea's presidential election will take place on June 3rd. And that was our keyword news for this Thursday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Thursday is, as you know, when we explore the Korean wave and the global appeal of Korean culture. Take a look at the screen to see what we're going to talk about today. May is full of meaningful days here in Korea, from Labor Day on May 1st to Children's Day on the 5th and Parents' Day on the 8th. And today marks yet another special occasion. It's the birthday of someone often referred to as the teacher of the Korean people, a figure still deeply respected centuries later. Can you guess who we're talking about? So we're gonna start our show with a quick quiz for our viewers. Let's see if you can guess who we're gonna talk about today. So this is the hint. He is widely regarded as the most respected king of Korea's Joseon dynasty, and he's the face on Korea's 10,000 won bill or the manwon bill. So I guess some of our viewers might know the answer to our question today, but Sang-hyuk, for those who might not know, please tell us the answer.
Well, as many of you have guessed, the figure is King Sejong.
Right.
So he's one of the most renowned kings in the Korean histories, and also one of the most popular king among Koreans. And by the way, his face is also printed on Korean currency, the 10,000 won bill.
Right, and Julian, for our viewers, just give us a little bit of a background about King Sejong.
Yeah, so like Sang-hyuk just mentioned, King Sejong is highly revered amongst Korean people, and his Emin Jeongsin, or spirit of caring for people in English, is very respected amongst Korean people too. We will discuss this more in detail later, but he is also very well regarded for creating the Korean writing system, Hangul, and dramatically increasing literacy rates in the country too. His contributions have made a huge impact on our culture, heritage, and our language.
Definitely, and today is actually the first time that King Sejong's birthday Thursday, which is May 15th, is being marked as a government-designated commemorative day. There is going to be a special celebration taking place near Gwanghwamun Gyeongbokgung Palace this evening. So Sang-hyuk, tell us more about what makes King Sejong such an iconic figure in Korea that the government even designated this as a commemorative day.
Yeah, so first of all, today is the birthday of King Sejong, and he made numerous accomplishments throughout his life. And I think he's mostly known for creating the Korean alphabet, Hangul. So previously, people of Joseon dynasty used Chinese characters or Hanja instead of their own letters. However, Chinese characters couldn't fully represent and express the Korean language, and it was too difficult for average Koreans to learn Chinese characters. This made King Sejong frustrated and motivated him to invent Hangul. And without him, we wouldn't have been able to see the Korean alphabet that we are using today.
Absolutely. So as Sang-hyuk mentioned, King Sejong's greatest legacy, of course, is the creation of Hangul, which is a Korean alphabet. So Julian, I want to ask you, what do you think makes Hangul really stand out when compared to other writing systems?
Yeah, so Hangul is the only writing system in the world whose creator and data creation are clearly written and known. Before Hangul was created, Koreans relied on Chinese characters, and this caused a literacy issue in the country as only the elite were able to learn how to read and write compared to the working class. So Kim Sejong and his scholars created Hangul to improve the literacy rates in the country. There are 14 consonants and 10 vowels in Hangul. The consonants are based on the shape of their tongue and mouth and depending on what sound it makes, while the vowels are just a simple combination of horizontal and vertical lines. This makes Hangul very logical, intuitive, and one of the few writing systems in the world that is considered easy to learn. There are even records that explain the principle behind its creation, and in 1997, UNESCO recognized the excellence of Hangul and designated it as a memory of the world, helping preserve the learnings and traditions of our country's writing system.
Right. So now, these days, with the Korean wave gaining momentum around the world, more people are starting to learn Korean in other parts outside of Korea. So Sang-hyuk, I want to ask you, do we have any stats or stories that show just how big the global interest in Hangul has become?
Yes, so in fact, there are many countries that are adopting Korean as their official second language, and also there are some overseas schools that are teaching Korean language in their curriculum. So for the past 10 years, the number of overseas schools teaching Korean language doubled up from 1,111 schools in 2014 to 2,154 schools in 2024, as you can see here on the screen. Now, if you look at the countries, Japan had the largest number of schools treating Korean in their curriculum, standing at 578 schools, followed by the United States, Thailand, Brazil, and Sri Lanka. And also the number of students learning Korean also increased throughout the years from 160,000 in 39 countries during 2020 and climbing all the way up to 200,000 in 47 countries as of 2023, as you can see here in the bar graph. The number of schools that registered Korean as a second language subject also increased from 11 countries in 2014 to 24 countries in 2024. And during the same period, for countries that adopted Korean in their national college entrance exam also went up from 4 countries to 10 countries. And these countries are New Zealand, Bulgaria, Uzbekistan, Thailand, Australia, France, and etc.
Very interesting stats. And Julian, I want to ask you, do you have any other more examples that could really show how much people around the world are interested in picking up the language?
Yeah, so starting this year, Korean language test scores can now be used for college entrance exams in Hong Kong. The test of proficiency in Korean, also known as a topic test, is officially recognized as a valid score and can be submitted for university applications, which is the first place in the world to actually do so. As a result, the number of topic test takers is on the rise, doubling from 220,000 in 2020 to 430,000 as of the end of August 2024. The number of overseas test takers has significantly grown, leading to an increase in test sessions. Outside of Korea, this test has been offered only about 3 times a year in 6 countries last year, but starting next year, it will be held annually 6 times in 13 countries. The topic exam is now held in countries like Mongolia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Romania, and the United States. Additionally, we're also seeing a rise of students using digital resources where textbooks are not as accessible.
I see. So for more insight into this rising global passion for the Korean language, we'll soon be joined by a young person from India who is currently studying Korean. Stay tuned.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us today is Monita Tongham, an Indian millennial currently pursuing her master's degree here in Korea. Welcome, Monita, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Monita from India, northeastern state of India.
Nice to meet you, Monita. So we'd first like to ask you, how long have you been learning Korean and what motivated you to start? And would you say you're fluent in Korean now, or are you still learning as you go?
Yeah, I've been studying Korean since my bachelor's days, but actually my interest started way back, probably when I was still in school. So Hallyu had a big influence on me. I got interested on K-pop, K-dramas, and eventually K-food. At first I was just enjoying the content, but soon I realized I wanted to understand more than just the subtitles. So my curiosity kept growing. And I clearly remember the first time I tried to learn Hangul. So it was from this song lyrics, Butterfly by BTS. Yeah, I didn't understand, or I was not able to read and write the Hangul at that time. But I was so determined to sing along the song properly, understanding the whole context. So I tried to figure it out by watching and pausing the videos 100 times and figured out what each of the characters sounded like. Yeah, it all started from there, my first unofficial Korean learning. But today I feel pretty confident on my speaking skills. Yeah, I can survive at the bank and hospitals, and yeah, I can even make Korean people laugh in Korean. Yeah, I think that's a progress. Yeah, I still make occasional mistakes here and there, but yeah, that's all part of the learning journey, I guess.
Okay, so you must have spent numerous time and energy to raise your Korean ability to the level that you feel confident right now. Then, Monita, what has been the toughest part of learning Korean for you?
Yeah, so the toughest part for me would be 띄어쓰기, spacing in between words. Yeah, first of all, that was the a little bit hard part for me. And the second one would be understanding the subtle nuances of the language. So you have to understand the whole mood of the the environment, the tone, and the body language and everything. One simple word would mean different meanings. For instance, 괜찮아요 could mean yeah, I'm okay, but in other cases it would mean I'm not okay, but I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, and such differences. Yeah, and the toughest part would be understanding Hanja, the Chinese roots. Yeah, it can one single word it would have several different meanings. Yeah, it felt like a mental gymnastics at times, but yeah, I see that as well as part of what makes the language so beautiful and the best fun part to learn of them. Yeah, I think all these challenges have made learning so wonderful and rewarding. They pushed me to think more deeply and understand the whole context and cultural context as a whole. Yeah, that's something that I've come to really appreciate.
Yeah, I can definitely empathize with your struggles with learning with Korean. So just to wrap things up, what do you find the most exciting or enjoyable about learning and studying the language?
It would be definitely being able to have a conversation with the Korean people in your own language, and to be able to think that it's my own language when you have the conversation. So I feel that's really interesting. And one interesting thing was that it feels really familiar with my own language, my mother tongue, Meiteilon, which is the official language of my state, Manipur. So I feel so close to it since it has the same honorific structure and sentence structure like SOV. Yeah, that's really interesting and feel close to the language itself. Yeah.
All right, Monita, thank you so much for sharing your experience today, and I hope you have a great Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you.
Right, and time to listen to our viewers. We also asked them why they started learning Korean. So we ran a poll on our Arirang.News YouTube channel with the question, what motivates you to learn Korean? So the top response, as you can see on the screen, was Hallyu, the Korean wave or Korean culture, followed by academic interest, and then other, and then followed by better job opportunities. And we're going to take a look at 3 comments. Our first comment for this Thursday is by Nana. To participate in Korean culture, also, I've always wanted to learn a new language and have friends who speak Korean. Anna8282 says, a few years ago, I happened to hear Korean and fell in love with the language. I knew nothing about Korea at the time, but since then, I've discovered all the amazing entertainment, food, and culture, and I even infected my husband with the K-bug. So much fun. The King's Kid FOR says, I just wanted to learn a foreign language, and Korean had really good materials online. Super accessible and structured. Okay, so ending off our episode today, I want to ask our panelists, do you have any tips on how to learn Korean in the most fun and practical way? And Julian, I think that you'll be able to give us some great advice because you've been studying Korean at a Korean language institute, right?
Yeah, so Korean is actually my second language as I was born and raised in the US and never formally received any formal education on Korean. I'm considered a heritage speaker, which basically means that I learned how to have simple and fun casual conversation with family, but I never really bothered to speak much of it until I was much older. So in an effort to become fluent, I made it a point to read, write, speak, and listen to as much Korean as possible daily. And yeah, some days were definitely very, very tough. And I've had days where I felt so discouraged because I feel like I couldn't really express myself fully. But now looking back, I can confidently say that it's paid off tremendously because I can now say that my Korean has improved exponentially.
Right.
And I don't really feel a huge language barrier in the country anymore. Maybe you can attest to it. We've been working together for 7 months. But
I can testify.
Great, I'd love to hear that. So my advice for those wanting to learn Korean is to incorporate Korean in your daily life as much as possible, whether it be through K-dramas, music, other forms of content, talking to friends. Just be consistent with it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. After some time, you will notice some progress, and it's a very fun and exciting journey to embark on.
Right, because I think when trying to picking up a new language, exposing yourself to that language as much as you can is really important.
Exactly.
What about you, Sang-yeon?
So when you're learning a new language, including Korean, you must first understand that linguistic abilities don't grow overnight.
Right.
It needs constant practice every day, and the improvement curve goes up step by step. So there is a period where you'll feel your Korean isn't making any progress, but don't give up. You'll see the improvements in the long run, so be patient. Now, first, you must set realistic goals and strategic goals as well. So why do you want to learn Korean? Is it for holiday travel, or are you studying to get the Korean language proficiency test scores, or is it because you want to understand K-dramas without the subtitles? And after setting a clear goal, you must study accordingly to reach the goal quickly. And also, turning Korean into background noise, just like Julian mentioned, is one way to boost your Korean language skills. You can regularly listen to K-pop or follow and subscribe to Korean YouTubers as well. And even if you don't understand a thing in the beginning, your brain is slowly absorbing the rhythm and pronunciation. And most of all, don't feel pressured, because in the end, learning a language should be fun without stress.
Some very helpful advice from an interpreter as well. And we just like to say happy birthday to King Sejong. And that's all we have for today's News Gen, but we will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korean time. Special thanks to Im Sang-yeon.
My pleasure, as always.
Thank you. And Julian Kim.
Thank you for having me on this Thursday morning.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for starting your morning with us, and hope you join us tomorrow as well. We are
News Generation.